BuzzFeed article that was released a couple of days ago and then taken down, which is really addressing and kind of exposing the blackfishing that Jesy Nelson has done from Little Mix. And a lot of people are, agreeing with the article, and some are disagreeing with this, guys. And this is just in general a very interesting issue, because it's not specifically about Jesy Nelson herself, as if she's the only person in the world that could be, a perpetrator of this, but it is very interesting. Hey guys, it's Morali. Hope you guys are doing well today. Back at it again with another video. If you have not subscribed, click that button. Daily and consistent, 24/7 fresh new content, daily and consistent. Merch, Patreon, everything in the bio. Do not be a godforsaken liar, please. Not today, not tomorrow, not never. And then let's get into this whole BuzzFeed article. Apparently it was taken down, but it's very interesting. There's another one going around as well, talking about, how people see it as a tanning problem or sending hate to Jesy, when, over the years, a lot of people seem to be surprised, and it's really gone viral, this kind of dialogue in the last couple of days, where they were shocked that Jesy Nelson was a white girl. They thought that she was biracial, they thought that she, was racially ambiguous or had something else in her background, because, the constant times they've seen her where her skin has been darkened. Now, me personally, I've always known Jesy Nelson to be a white girl, probably because a lot of her Little Mix fans right now are probably a majority of people who didn't watch them on X Factor. X Factor was a prime show back when they were still on it. So, back then I could tell the girl was a white girl, whatever. But over the time, she obviously has darkened her skin here and there a lot of the times, and maybe her new fans are very confused by what is going on and thought that she was just a girl, a mixed race girl, whatever. I don't think she's doing it with any evil intent, which is why this is not a malicious video, and I don't think it's a specific, F Jesy Nelson, this is what she's doing, she's this, she's that. But a lot of white girls do this, even Ariana Grande, if we want to keep it really real. A lot of these people who, as their career progresses, as it seems they have to fit a certain aesthetic and darken their skin tone slowly but surely. Now, this BuzzFeed article says, now here where I really grind my teeth in frustration, as dark as Jesy makes herself, she'll never experience racism of any kind. That is my biggest pet peeve. Whilst I see other people of color addressing this as a reason for their anger, too many people are still ignorant. My mother's Sri Lankan and my father is mixed. While I'm considered light-skinned, the same cannot be said for my older sister, whose complexion is as dark as our mum's. I remember an instance where we were getting our food. I must have been about 7 or so. An older woman stopped my mum and actually asked if I was her child. Kira was also there, but the woman had no doubt about my sister due to her dark skin. In that moment, I wasn't uncomfortable because I didn't understand the seriousness of the situation. I do remember our mother being very, very bothered by it. And she goes off and gives a lot more examples. So when I hear people that say it's okay for celebrities like Jesy Nelson, who are white, to darken the skin as much as they want, my first thought is that they're not thinking about people whose skin is naturally very dark. People who are judged for their very skin tone that they were born with. If Jesy Nelson wants to tan because she's insecure, that's one thing. But the fact that thousands and thousands of people genuinely thought she was biracial or another ethnicity, well, that says a lot about how she's presenting herself. It says a lot about how dark she is making herself. Stop blaming her stylist, stop blaming her culture. This is where I agree that Jesy Nelson needs to be held accountable. At the end of the day, she can go home and wash off that dark complexion because it's temporary. Millions of people do not have that benefit. Jesy knows what she is doing. My last issue is this. Where was Miss Nelson when her bandmates were being subjected to racism? Did she ever speak out? People of color fans were expressing their own concerns of racism and feeling oppressed. With all due respect, Jesy's platform seems very self-centered. Leanne Pinnock has released a documentary on the issue, and there have been crickets chirping from Jesy's end. No, true. Jade Thirlwell and Perry Edwards have been vocal with their support, especially for the organisation that Miss Pinnock has created called the Black Fund. If Jesy Nelson could at least acknowledge this controversy, I don't believe things would be this bad. A majority of people just want her to say something. We're not trying to cancel anyone. If she's to stay quiet, then it's just clear ignorance on her part. And whilst I understand that death threats have been sent her way, I'm not referring to those sick individuals. She needs to focus on her devoted fans who are attempting to educate her on this matter. But even then, Miss Nelson will turn 30 years old on 14th of June. She's no longer a child. She's a grown adult, has been for quite some time. This is going to ultimately affect her career if nothing changes. So, it's a very article that says, as a woman of color, here are my honest thoughts on Jesy Nelson's blackfishing and how, over the course of the time, she has changed her color Jesy Nelson was white, she was not biracial, both of her parents were white and so were her grandparents. As far as some of us knew, the only colour she had came from a tanning product that she'd picked up from the store, probably a brand like Saint Tropez. None of us like to admit that we've made an awkward and stereotypical assumption. In this case, mine was assuming that Jesy was biracial. From watching a documentary, Odd One Out, back when it aired on BBC, I knew that her mother was white. It was a father whom I'd so graciously assumed had been a man of colour. There are times when Jesy has been photographed with a dark complexion. On some occasions, it looked like a natural tan. Then there were images that showed her being the same skin tone as her bandmate Leanne. I cringed, noting why many were furious with how Jesy Nelson was presenting herself in those particular moments. It appeared that even when the cameras were flashing as Miss Nelson came to and from events, there was still a darkness to her skin. One day, she was the same as Miss Pinnock. Other days, her skin was the same shade or darker as another bandmate of hers, Jade Thirlwall, who was half Arab, given her mum's Egyptian Yemeni background. But then I think back to several moments of when Jesy was showing her natural skin, the difference was so obvious to say the least. That's the ongoing joke that UK girls love to tan until they turn a shade of burnt orange. I personally never had an issue with this. Their colour was unnatural and it seemed obvious that underneath they must have been white. Who would ever mistake someone an orange tanner as biracial, let alone another ethnicity? Whew, okay, this guy is going in. From the time when I was little to now, being almost 28, my skin has never gotten darker, not even close to Jesy on her darkest tanning days. I'm tempted to scoff when someone tries to say that Jesy Nelson's skin has gotten darker naturally. It's at that moment when I mumble under my breath, oh, this person just doesn't get it. I saw another user say that heavy tanning was part of Jesy's culture. What bloody culture? She's from Romford. It's more of a social trend at this point. While it's been normalised predominantly by white women, that doesn't mean everyone is going to be alright with it. I've seen complaints about Jesy's hairstyles and outfit choices, and I'm here to tell you, those particular things are not the issue at hand. Combined with her excessive tanning, I can wrap my head around the assumptions, but at the end of the day, we all can't mutually agree that those factors are what make her ethnically ambiguous, especially when her hair is naturally curly. Now, I personally cannot speak for the instance when she wore her hair in locks. Despite having a black grandmother, I wouldn't feel comfortable getting into why or I should be offended because I'm not in touch with that part of my ancestry, nor do I understand what it's like to be in the shoes of a black individual. Furthermore, if someone who's black tells me that they're offended by how Jesy styled her hair, I'm in no damn place to debate them or say it's just a hairstyle. So she's obviously going in. A lot of people are reacting to this, saying, you know, to be honest with you, I knew that Jesy Nelson was white. So for this BuzzFeed article to say that, you know, she's so shocked that Jesy Nelson is biracial, again, she clearly comes to me off as a white girl, but I can see the kind of darkening of skin tone here and there that she may have done. Jesy Nelson needs to stop having a victim mentality. Yet she has struggled a lot, but that doesn't mean she has to label everything as hate and bullying. She has a platform to speak up, apologize. She's white, she won't understand POC struggles. Blackfishing is normalized, but it's not okay. The author of that BuzzFeed article didn't hold back, and rightly so. Jesy Nelson is a white woman and she is the same color as Leanne. It's not tanning, it is blackfishing. So, I mean, it's everywhere. Everyone is talking about it, and you know, the original article covering this, that got taken down. That went into an extreme length about the blackfishing that is going on, and that, you know, a lot of these white girls do in these bands. It's a subtle move they make progressively as it goes on, and it is, you know, something that I could see. I don't think shooting with intent. I don't think death threats are viable in any case, and I don't think she should be dragged. But it's a conversation from her fans or whoever to kind of educate her on this matter. I do feel like it's a little bit sus if she has been very quiet on, you know, her ex-bandmate's documentary on racism and colorism. I don't know if that's to be true, but if that's to be the case, that is a little bit sus. In all honesty, like, I find that to be a little bit weird. Anyways, make of this what you will. Do you guys think that she is or that she's not? Comment down below. Do you agree or disagree with the BuzzFeed article and this conversation going around in the last 24 hours? Subscribe to the channel. Click that button, guys. Merch, Patreon, podcast, everything in the bio. And I'll catch you guys soon for another video.